Yo, what's up? My name's Dani D. Come on inside and welcome to my crib. Go to the instructor and be like, please tell me what I did wrong, please, right? Please validate me. And because it was very real. And I would go up and I would always ask, what did I do wrong? What can I change next time? Like, what can I do? And they would say, oh, you bobbed your head too much. And I was like, okay, cool, Danielle, don't bob your head anymore. And then they'd say, like, you talk with your hands too much. I was like, okay, Danielle, you can't talk with your hands anymore, okay? And they'd say, when you walk in, you have this bounce to you. Okay, now I have to walk in like this to every audition. And I would go stand outside of audition rooms. And I would stand there and I would go, okay, Danielle, like, this is actually if you want to know, like, word for word what would go through my head, I'd be like, okay, legs, like, shoulder width apart, like, oh, hip width apart, okay, knees soft. I'd be like, okay, oh, I gotta roll back and forth to make sure I'm centered. I'd be like, roll my shoulders back. I'm serious right now. This is exactly, like, what I would do. Hands down the side, and I'd be like, okay, and, like, relax the jaw, and, like, and I'd walk in, like, hi, I'm Danielle. Neutral, like, ghost that just, like, enters the room, right? Which you guys definitely saw me start this talk and know that that's not me. Yeah. Like, that is not me at all. And I would stand there and I would be like, hello, my name is Danielle Geruso and I am auditioning for this role. And then I'd go and I'd do my acting and I'd say, thank you so much. And I'd leave. Like, this is so hyper aware. But it didn't stop there. I would go into dates and I would be like, okay. First date, I'd be like, Danielle, don't bob your head. Don't bob your head. Okay, shoulders down. Okay, cool. Like, don't talk too much. Like, just this completely numbed out version of who I was. Confidence doesn't happen. You can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna be confident today. Confidence shows up as a byproduct of you showing up without any filters, without any expectations on yourself, and without trying to fit yourself into someone else's self-perceived limitations of who you need to be. Because that's just, like, made up based on their own personal experience of their life. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes! Dani Church today! I love that. So you gotta be all parts of it, every single part of who you are. That is your brand. You are your brand. The essence of you is your brand. When you enter that room, yeah, someone can go to your website, but if your website doesn't match that person who enters that room, they're not gonna hire you. They're also not gonna be like, who is this person? I went to a retreat last year at Sedona. It was so life-changing, and I remember one of the yoga instructors that was there, I was like, oh, you're so cool, like, I love you, you're so awesome. She's also, like, a business mentor, and I'm like, oh my god, like, her prices are crazy high, and I think I'm gonna hire her. Like, I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna, like, dump all my savings on this person, like, she's so cool. And so I was on the plane ride home being like, oh, how can I calculate this so I can still eat food next week, right? And I'm like, okay, so I'm, like, doing everything on the plane. I get off the plane, and I, like, get home and stuff like that, and I go to her website, and I was like, who is this? I was like, what? Who is this? I watched her live videos and I was like, who is this? Like, she's like, hi. She went from being like, hey guys, like all this stuff to being like, hi, I wanted to let you guys all know that. And I was like, oh my god, no. Because if I want to feel confident and I want to feel free to be who I am, I need someone who can hold that container for me, and they can't hold that container for me unless they hold it for themselves. Yes. And it's the same thing. Anyone who, like, is looking to you as an inspiration, you have to hold that container for yourself before anyone else is going to trust you to hold that container space for them. You got to be all of it, unfiltered, unleashed, and you got to be deeply loved for the truth of who you are. That's all, guys. Thanks.
But I did all the things not because of me. I did all the things because every single time I wanted someone to tell me that I was good enough. So I'd show up to auditions and I would be like, please give me this job and tell me I'm good enough. I would show up to school and be like, oh, please give me an A so that I can be kind of smart, right? Because I was a C student. I was really bad at all things math, English, pretty much anything except for theater. I was awful at. And I thought, okay, if I got really good grades in university doing what I loved, then I would be good enough. Then I would be, your brand, quote unquote, your brand, your identity is just an expression of your soul. That sounds so deep, I know, you're welcome. It's poetry for you. But it is, it's who you are on the inside, no matter what. And when you act off your identity, you get to create that identity for yourself. And you get to show up however you choose to show up in every single moment, but you don't have to compartmentalize yourself. So those are really good questions.
Experience that has triggered an emotional response for you, and it like traps in your subconscious mind as a belief. So say every time I play a certain song and I like pinched you, you'd be like, I really fucking hate that song. But it's not the song, it's like your emotional response to it that formed a belief in your mind. And so this is called Unplugged. And I'm really excited because some of my words for this year, we're gonna go through that too, is some emotional response words, some core desired feeling words. For me is connection and presence. And that's been really strong for me. And it's all about connection, like human being to human being. Like no rep to protect, no nothing. It's just human being to human being. And it really, really came clear to me when I was at a voice workshop like a couple months back. I was talking to you guys about this. I was at the National Voice Intensive Workshop, and we're sitting around and I was terrified to go because I was in the theater world, I was in the film industry, and then I took a step back because it just didn't feel right anymore. And I decided just like step back from that. And now going back into that, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna be with all these actors who like are well known. They're like on Fargo, they're on these things that I should have been on because I was with them in the growth process and stuff like that. But I'm gonna walk into this room and what are they all gonna think about me? And so I walked in this room full of like star-studded humans, and the best part about it was at the beginning, we all had kind of these ideas of who each other was, these ideas of what we did and these ideas of how we talked, what we like believed in, all this stuff. By the end of the workshop, we were all kind of on the same level. And I wanted to take that experience and bring it into not only the coaching industry, because I normally coach coaches or people who want to start to create their own personal development brand, but I also wanted to bring it to the world. And which is why this is my very first local workshop. So thank you so much for coming, you guys. Like so many people wanted to be here and couldn't. So really, really have gratitude for yourself right now because you made that decision to actually unplug from all the bullshit, unplug from all the chaos that's going on in your life, unplug from any beliefs that you have, and plug back into your purpose and plug back into who you really are at a core, at a human being core. And I was just talking to Katie about compassion and having compassion for yourself through this process. So breath work sounds ridiculously easy, like you breathe, everyone breathes all the time. But we've actually been taught to breathe in a really interesting way, which is to not let any breath in, but to look like you're breathing really hard. So what happens when you take a deep breath and your body is like fully relaxed and you're in alignment and all that stuff, you take the breath in, it goes right down to your diaphragm, your lungs expand to make room for your diaphragm moves down and your belly expands, right? And so you breathe in and your stomach goes out. What are we normally taught? Like take a deep breath and like hold everything in. So it's the same thing with my one teacher, Gail Whitford, says the most, like, it's like my favorite quote ever, which is the breath is the inspiration. And it's so true because every single time that we take this breath, that we bring in this inspiration into our lives or something like that, we're taught to put it through a filter of not allowing it all in. And so what that does, that creates those neural pathways that say it is not safe to be yourself. It is not safe to believe this certain thing. It is not safe to have your own opinions. It is not safe to do what you really want to do in this world. It's not safe. You have to stay in this little box and you have to go to this specific job and you have to do this specific thing and then you got to pay bills and then die. And then that's just how it is. So like, sorry, like anything else isn't okay, right? And so we've all been taught that, and it's the same thing. It's the taking the breath in but not letting any breath actually in, but looking like you're really, really doing life really good, right? And so that's what we're kind of gonna unplug from, which, if you like my little twinkly lights, I wanted to make sure that this space was a really safe space for you guys.